Happy Sunday. I missed you guys yesterday. Ready to Love. I'm going to do about 10 videos in one, okay? Because I got makeup for yesterday. Ready to Love Season 4, Jason. I mentioned this in one of my comments that I was really disappointed with Jason, with the reunion, the interaction between him and Kyra. But before that, I had mentioned when he met with Kyra and he was queening. I said, red flag. And a few of you said you were thinking about that and wanted me to talk about it. So we're going to chit chat about that and a couple of other things really quick, because I have to come back and talk about put a ring on it, y'all. What is wrong with Rhonda? I just cannot with her. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs this up, share this out. If you can. I am 20 away from 11,000 last time I checked. So if you have not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Check to make sure you are. Share it out in your community tab if you have one. You can share this out on your Facebook and all of that stuff. Yep, I'm 19 away from 11,000. So, all right, really quick. And we're going to talk about critical thinking, right? Because critical thinking is something we don't talk about. They don't really teach you that in school. My little boy, he goes to a private school and he's in kindergarten. And the word he's getting in kindergarten, I was like, why he need to know this in kindergarten? Why he needs to write what the bear is thinking? I just, the bear is there. Why think? And I was just so annoyed. And my husband says, babe, it's critical thinking. They are teaching him how to think critically. And they would read a story and then they would have to imagine other stuff in the story. And I was just so annoyed until Mike says it's critical thinking. And I had an aha moment, because critical thinking is not something they really teach us, right? Parents don't really teach it, or we don't really learn that in school. I think I took a class. I even went in my den and said, I think I have a book on critical thinking theory. I think that's what it's called, right? Because of the education system in the United States, it's just like a memory system. And it doesn't really teach you how to think critically, which is why, we don't teach economics in school anymore. 86% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Ouch. That means line up 100 families, and 86 out of those families live paycheck to paycheck, which is why last year when COVID hit and the country shut down in March, people was crying that they didn't have money to pay their rent. And I'm like, how is that even possible? It's March 15th. Should you already have April rents ready? But no. We don't use critical thinking when we date. And we don't use critical thinking in choosing a mate, because a lot of these stories I've written about in The Naked Wife, and I share a lot of stories on here and a lot of stories you read on Facebook. You have to think, but my question is usually, well, what was he doing before? You've been married 3 months and he's already beating your behind. Well, what was he doing before? Because he don't just marry you and start beating you. There were instances and examples that you should, where is my red flag, that you should have already seen and kind of critical thinking into what's going to happen. Oh, he's cheated on me. And then you come to find out, well, he cheated. And I caught him and he proposed and I accepted. So he married you because you caught him cheating, not because he really wanted to be the provider for that. And so in thinking and talking about critical thinking, it's what is going to happen down the road? And one of the things, look up the video series I did, 8 Lessons from My Dad. I am going to I'm gonna put this in a book. He's in Jamaica right now, laid out on the sand. My father, the faith Pastor Bradshaw. I'm gonna talk to him about some more and get some more lessons from him, because one of the lessons, very important lessons he taught me, was make sure you see a man angry before you marry him. Why? Because when you see him angry, it will show you how is he going to act or treat you when you get married and he gets angry. Is he going to hit you, slap you, put you out of the house, like the woman who went to church and her husband locked her out and she slept on the porch, and then knock on the door in the morning and say, if you let me in, I'm going to make you bacon and eggs. And that's the last time I listened to Bishop T.D. Jakes, because he was approving of that BS. And I think somebody later, somebody told me that he has come back and said that a lot of the things he taught in reference to abuse in marriage, he was wrong. He shouldn't have said that. I remember I said, no, that's not right, because he was saying, see, that's how you do it. You stick it through your. I say, absolutely not. Okay, poor woman didn't even have money to go stay in a hotel. The lady I told y'all about on the turnpike. Do y'all know what the New Jersey Turnpike is like? It's a 10-lane highway. Pookie left her on the highway, the bridge part of the highway. If you know New Jersey Turnpike, there are some places you could just step over the ramp and maybe walk to a shopping center. This is North Jersey City, Hoboken, New York, all of them where it's the bridge and you can't get off. And I think she had to call the cops to come get her. And the dum-dum married him. And then when I was hearing the story called about, I don't want to hear it, because when he left you on the highway, that was your opportunity to run. That was God showing you that you need to not marry this man. And a lot of times, ladies, when we are dating, what is the purpose of dating? Dating is to gather data so that you can form and make an informed decision. That's not your man. You're not moving in. You're not having sex. You're not having babies. Dating is all about gathering data. What is the purpose of the data you gather? To make an informed decision. The problem is many of us don't date. Many of us are like Vernisha. We jump in, we meet a man, he's it. We don't gather the data. We don't ask critical thinking questions. We don't think ahead. We don't do none of that. We jump all the way in, make him our man without the data. And then you see men, I told you all, that men go in a relationship, asking the question, is she the one? While we go in saying he is the one. And what we need to do, ladies, is need to become more like men when it comes to our critical thinking. We need to stimulate our calculated part of our brain, and we need to calculate it. But the reason why a lot of us is not able to do that is because what? We jump all the way in, and we are led by our emotions, and we are not led by facts. Because a lot of y'all that's marrying these men, this is the question I'm asking on Facebook when all the women are complaining. You know what I asked? What was he like before? Because they give you clues if you're paying attention. But if you're emotional, you're not paying attention. So let me tell you about my husband. We were going out, and I remember asking, do you want to have children? He said, if God bless us. I said, yes or no. Yes or no. I don't need no if. Because we're not going to get married, and then we want a baby, and you're going to tell me if. I said, no, I need a yes or no. And so my husband, very monotone, very, very controlled, very corporate, very Okay, sometimes he's talking, and I'm like, hold up, hello. I'm not one of your clients. I'm your wife, Janice. So you got to, turn it around. And so he kept saying, if. I was like, okay. I stopped talking to him. I said, nope, I'm not accepting calls. Nope, I won't hear it. Bye. I'm done. Goodbye. Right? And so he sent flowers to the job. And I told him I don't want it. Miss Hilton, you have to go downstairs and get the flowers. I went downstairs, got flowers. So I said, Joali, do you want flower? He said, yes, mommy. Oh my God, mommy, Poppy made you upset, mommy. What did Poppy do? Poppy made you upset. I said, Joali, do you want the flowers or not? She was like, okay. And so he calls, he comes by the house, leave notes on the car. I'm not responding. I'm done. Because when Janice is done, I'm done. And so he said, could you just meet with me or talk to me? Why you're not talking to me? So I told him, I said, listen, I asked you about this. I don't want to hear it. And so he was getting ready to go away. And I was like, you know what? He's going away. He's going away for about a week or two. I don't want him, carrying this on his mind. He needs to have a clear mind. And the least he needs to be worrying about is this between me and him. So I said, I'm going to meet with you. So I agreed. And he said, okay, do you want to meet me at Applebee's? Y'all know Applebee's was our date spot, if y'all know the story, right? I said, no, I'll meet you at the Home Depot parking lot. And he said, Home Depot parking lot? Same thing when I said Applebee's. He was like, Applebee's? I said, yes, Home Depot parking lot. It's on my way home to get Lexi. So I pulled up in the Home Depot parking lot, and he's there in a car. And he came to open my door. I locked my door and I rolled the window down this much. I said yes, and he's sweating, he's sweating. Looked like somebody just poured water down on his head. Sweats just, he's wiping it away. I've never seen him like that. He wiping, I love you. I want to marry you. But what's why you're not talking to me? I said, I asked you if you want to have kids. I don't want if. I don't want maybe, God bless us. I want yes or no. Okay, because when I first met him, he said he never thought he would have because he was older. He was in his mid-40s. And I said, I want a yes or no. I don't want if or maybe yes. I love you. Yes, I want to have babies with you. I'm just trying to depend on God. I said, yes or no. Yes, okay. So I said, okay. And so he said, you want to go next door to get something? I said, no, I got to go get Lexi. Bye. And I drove off. Ooh, I don't remember what day that he had to fly out the next day or the day after or something. Honey, let me tell you, he was away. It was so bad that at the time he had two secretaries. They both called me Janice. What's going on with you, Mike? Oh, Lord have mercy. And I knew, I was like, this dude really, really, really loves me. But that was the time that I got to see he wasn't upset, but he was under pressure. Okay. And so I told my dad, and he hollered. He said, that's a good example of seeing what he would do when he's under pressure. And so these are the types of things, ladies, that our fathers or male friends and uncles should have taught us, but they didn't teach us. And so we go in with all emotions. Okay. Video number 1. Video number 2 is bring it on back to Jason. First of all, when he met with Kyra and he was queen and everything, I said, ladies, no matter how, and remember, because we're using the people on our TVs to learn. That's what we do over here at the Church Girl. We use what they show us on TV, and we try to apply it to our lives, and we learn from them, and we say, what do I do if I was in that position? How should I act? How should I be? That is what we do over here, okay? Because I know somebody's going to come over here and say Jason and Liz is together, so drop it. That's not what this is about. I was probably the first one that says, I like Jason and Liz for the sake of the TV. I like all of them. There's not one of them I dislike. Let me think. Even Alexis, I don't dislike her, okay? But we use what they do, ladies, to apply to our lives and see how we will act. And a lot of you ladies have said, Janice, I watched the show and I didn't see what you see. That's why you come over here at the Church Girls, because I'm going to tell you things you do not see because you are being emotional. And emotions is not a bad thing, ladies, except when you let it lead you. But I'm looking at it more from an analytical standpoint. Okay, I've always been analytical, and I'm thinking it's probably because I grew up with brothers. I'm the only girl. I have 5 brothers, male cousins, and so I've always been around men, and so I've always had like a man's way of thinking, which is being analytical. When he met with Kyra, and he start queen this, to be honest, queen, and I was like, no, 24,000 guys. Because what he is doing is he's trying to connect with you emotionally so you can forget about what you came to talk about, what you want to talk about, and now he's honing in on your emotions by calling you queen. This is why I don't believe this queen stuff y'all run around talking about. Queen, my cat, I don't believe it. I don't do it. Okay? And so in this book, I talk extensively about how men will hone into your emotions, and by stroking your ego. How many of us know, how many of you ladies know that women have egos too? See, Kyra's ego was hurt when Jason went with Liz. Okay? She was hurt. Her ego was hurt. And so when he was queen, and look, I did that video, go and check and see what I said about this. So then at the reunion, he's talking to her. And he got really heated and he says, boy, now I'm going to ask y'all, ladies, if you're dating a guy and you get a little, heated, or it gets a little warm, or you're talking above your normal voice, and he says to you, boy, what would you think? Would you question that? Would you say that's a red flag? Would you notice it? What would you do? Because these are the questions you need to start asking yourself. If I'm talking to a guy and he says, boy, what would you do? What would you think? What would come to your mind? And would you continue to date him? What is dating? Dating is, I'm going to use the professional description in my book. It is to skillfully gather data, so that it's the art, it's an art of skillfully gathering data so that you can make an informed decision, which means you need to pay attention to everything. Don't overlook nothing. That time y'all was having an argument and he was aggressive with you, don't overlook it. He might have called you out of your name. Don't overlook it. You're walking to the restaurant and you say, oh, what beautiful flowers. You love flowers. And then he says, oh, that's a waste of money, but you love flowers. Don't overlook it, because you're going to get married and be like the woman who's been married for 12 years that has never gotten anything from her husband for her birthday or Mother's Day, but she keeps giving out to him. Don't overlook it. Now, our emotions will tell us to overlook it. Just like when Vernisha said, I've never heard Joel, somebody in the comment section said, oh my God, it's not Joel, it's Joel. Up north, we're up in north in New York, I say, yeah, it's like people down south says New Ark. Oh my God, it's not New Ark, it's Newark. And I'm screaming my head. I'm like, oh my God, it is not New Ark, it's Newark. Okay, Newark. Okay, so we say Joel up here. Okay, some people say Joel, but it's Joel up here. Okay, so it's like when Vernisha said I've never heard him say I was clingy. And he asked the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, Vernisha, Joel asked the ex-boyfriend, is she clingy? Why do you think he was asking her that, him that? I just want to know. Why do you think he was asking that? Because he thinks you're clingy. And so, ladies, this is a perfect example because he asked the ex-boyfriend, is she clingy? Hold on, my call. Thank you, baby. He asked the ex-boyfriend, is she clingy? And she says, I've never heard him say I was clingy. But what you think he was asking that for? What do you think Joel was asking the ex-boyfriend, are you clingy? You think it's just to ask him to... He thinks you're clingy. So ladies in your dating and married ladies, I was thinking about the married ladies yesterday. Are you conscious in your dating? I told you we were going to do 12 videos in one. Are you conscious in your dating? Ladies, are you conscious? Married ladies, are you conscious in your dating? I mean, the marriage groups and the men be complaining. Women, wives walking around funky. One man said sour. I said, sir, what that mean? Because I never heard that word before. And so, ladies, you must be conscious in your dating. If Vernisha was conscious in her dating, she would not be walking around with a bra, going to meet the family in her shirt up here with the navel out and you forward. You're not conscious because you're not thinking. You're not thinking about what is he going to think? What picture am I presenting? My husband was watching me a whole month on Facebook. That whole month that he didn't call me. He liked my posts every morning. And he said, I was watching you on Facebook. I was trying to make sure you're not one of them. I'm not going to use the word he used, but basically a pookish, basically. Okay. He said, I was watching you and I was trying to figure out, make sure you're not one of those. It's a word me and him use, but I ain't gonna tell y'all. But it's basically a pookish because he can't do pookish. I don't do pookish. Okay, his life is not set up for pookish. So, ladies, you must be conscious. You must think critically. You must put your emotions down. You must be calculated when you are dating and gathering data. You must think about the information you collect, and you must learn how to use that information you collect to form data. And you want the data that's going to work for you. You don't want a data that's going to make you naked. Why? Because you know what I asked all these ladies in here, and I'm getting ready to go, is, well, why did you marry him? Because when I spoke to the ladies afterwards, now why did you marry him? Now, the ladies that's been married, I've had a couple in here 40, 30 years. Those people, it's a little bit different because back then it was different. Shotgun weddings and all of them. It's more so people today. Why did you marry him? Because you had all the data. You have all the information to make the decision. So how did you, based on all the information you have, how did you come to, I'm going to marry him, and you have all negatives over here? I just want to know. Answer the question for me. I love you. I'm going to run. I was supposed to come back yesterday and do another video. I didn't get a chance. So I'm trying to catch up today. I've been up since around 4 something. I said I was going to clean up today. I went in the bathroom to clean because I usually start with the bathroom. And I was like, no, I think it's time for the cleaning service to start coming again. So I just pre-clean. You know, I'm one of them that pre-clean for the cleaning company. Okay, babes, I love you. I want you to listen carefully, and I want you to answer those questions for me and think it through. I'm going to run. I'll be back. Vernisha did an interview. I listened to half of it, so I have some notes here. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do half the interview. Some of the things she said that I want to discuss, and some of the things we've discussed already. And then I still have that other video that she did that I need to finish that interview because she was speaking by herself. This one, it was an interview on somebody's channel. I got to find it so I could give them credit below. I love you. Let me know what you think. Bye. Bye. Be sure to subscribe. Remember, my books on Amazon. Etsy. My Etsy shop is up. My VA is working on perfecting some things. Okay. I have some new designs coming up this week. This one is doing very, very well. Okay. I love you. Bye.